a dagger from across the street,
Right?
you have to be close. You have to be within arm's reach.
So you have to let them in.
Exactly. To be stabbed in the back, you have to turn your back on someone. You have to trust them. The dagger isn't just pain, it's the exploitation of intimacy. The text is acknowledging that the greatest risk isn't the AI on the screen or the bombs in the news.
It's the vulnerability of loving someone.
It's the vulnerability, because that's where you're exposed.
That makes the line, "everyone I let inside," so much heavier. It's the realization that intimacy is a liability.
And that leads to the conclusion the speaker makes. It's dark down here.
So we have the external world collapsing and the internal circle of loved ones wielding daggers, bleak. And naturally, this leads to a crisis of faith. Because if the world is bad and people are bad, the next logical question for a believer is, where is God?
And the text asks that directly. It doesn't beat around the bush. Father, where are you in this?
I appreciate that honesty. A lot of times in this genre of writing, there's a tendency to rush to the resolution. Skip the doubt. But this source material sits in the doubt.
It's the phenomenon of divine silence. The line that follows is, if you're moving, I don't see it.
That is bold.
Yeah.
It's the speaker saying, I am looking for you, and I am getting absolutely nothing.
It highlights the fragility of the situation. The text describes the speaker as trying to find an ounce of faith. Just an ounce. They aren't asking for a mountain. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
And what's interesting is the specific request they make. They don't ask for the strength to fight. They don't ask for the strength to fix the world or stop the bombs.
Oh.
They ask for the strength to sing.
That jumped out at me too. Why singing?
Yeah, why? If I'm in a crisis, I want a sword, not a melody.
But think about what singing represents in a situation like this. Singing is an act of defiance. To sing when the world is burning, to sing when you're bleeding. That is an assertion of existence. It's a refusal to be silenced by the chaos.
It's like saying, I am still here.
Exactly. It's not a strategic move to defeat the enemy. It's a spiritual move to preserve the self.
So we've hit the bottom. The world is a mess. Friends are betraying you, and God seems silent. Honestly, if the song ended there, it would be a tragedy. But it doesn't. There's a chorus.
The anchor.
The recurring mantra of the text. Hey, I'm a child of God.
Now, hold on. Depending on your background, listener, that phrase might mean different things. For some, it sounds like a bumper sticker, I'm a child of God, so everything is peachy.
Right, it can sound cliche.
Yeah.
But in the context of this text, after all that darkness we just analyzed, I don't think it's being used as a cliche.
No, absolutely not. Look at the syntax. The line is, I choose to trust you now.
It's active.
It's an act of volition. It's a cognitive strategy. The evidence, the burning news, the daggers, suggests they shouldn't trust. The speaker isn't feeling it, but the speaker makes a decision to override the evidence.
I choose to trust you now, the day I am a child of God. It feels like they're reminding themselves, like they're chanting it to keep the panic attack at bay.
Identity becomes a survival mechanism. When the external world is unstable, I don't know what to believe, and the social world is treacherous daggers, you have to anchor yourself in something that cannot be taken away. For the speaker, that immutable fact is, I'm a child of God.
But I love that the text doesn't pretend that this identity fixes the immediate problem. The lyric is, it's dark down here, but I'm holding on.
That but is the most important word in the song. It acknowledges the reality of the darkness. It doesn't say, I'm a child of God, so the lights came back on. It says, it is still dark, it is still hard, but I am holding on.
It's a theology of endurance, not escape.
Precisely. And speaking of escape, there is a longing for it. The text asks, when is heaven coming down? And someone tell me how much longer now.
That's the tension, isn't it? The speaker has found their anchor, their identity, but they're still exhausted. They're asking for a timeline. How much longer? It's a very human question. We can endure suffering if we know when it ends.
But the text doesn't give an answer.
It doesn't. The song ends with that plea remaining open. Someone tell me.
And that lack of answer is significant. The source material presents a faith that exists within the unanswered question. The speaker declares, I'm a child of God, while the heat is still rising.
It's interesting how the text contrasts heaven coming down with the world coming on down.
Good catch. The world is coming down, collapsing. The speaker wants heaven to come down, restoration. It's two opposing downward motions. One brings destruction, the other brings salvation. And the speaker is stuck right in the middle, feeling the friction.
Heat, heat, heat. That word repeats in the text. You can almost feel the pressure cooker.
It emphasizes the intensity of the refining process. And yet, in that furnace, the speaker returns to that single sentence, "Hey, I'm a child of God."
It makes you think about what we cling to when things go south.
Yeah.
Because for the songwriter, that identity is the only thing that isn't burning or bleeding.
And it serves as a counter-narrative. The world says you are a consumer, buying bombs. The world says you are a victim, bled dry. The world says you are obsolete, AI on my screen. The speaker rejects all those labels and claims a different one.
It really is a battle for the mind.
Completely. It's an internal assertion of worth in a world that seems bent on stripping it away.
So let's zoom out a bit. We've gone from the macro anxieties of AI and war to the micro heartbreak of betrayal, and finally, to the singular point of defiance.
And I think what makes this source material so compelling and why we chose to dive into it is that it doesn't resolve the conflict. The bombs are still there at the end of the song. The daggers are still there.
Right. The victory described in the text isn't that the storm stops. The victory is that the singer is still standing, or at least still holding on in the middle of it.
It redefines what strength looks like. Like we said earlier, the request was for strength to sing, not strength to escape.
You know, as we wrap this up, I'm thinking about the listener. Because you don't have to be a child of God in the theological sense to feel the weight of what this song is describing.
No, absolutely not. The feelings of disorientation, of not knowing what to believe, of feeling betrayed by those close to you, those are universal human experiences.
So here's the question for you listening right now. When you open your phone tonight and you see the streets of burning news, or when you feel those daggers from people you trusted,
Yeah.
what is your anchor?
When the world feels like it is coming on down, and you don't know if it's AI or reality on your screen, what is the core identity that you hold on to? What is the phrase you repeat to yourself in the dark to keep from dissolving?
For Abe Parker, in this text, it's, I'm a child of God. It's a choice to trust despite the silence.
And that's the final takeaway for me. The text ends with the question, how much longer now? It doesn't get an answer.
That's the provocative thought we want to lead you with. The speaker asks for a timeline and gets silence. But maybe, just maybe, the strength to sing doesn't come from getting the answer.
No, I think the strength comes from the act of asking the question. It comes from staying present in the dark, holding on, and deciding who you are even when the lights are out.
You don't wait for the fire to go out to decide you're fireproof.
Exactly. You sing in the furnace.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.
See you next time.